By the summer of 1944, it had become evident to the Japanese air commanders that there was no way in which they could equal the United States air arms at any point. Their losses were catastrophic, while the results which they were achieving were negligible. The one and only asset which they still possessed was the willingness of their pilots to meet certain death. Under these circumstances, they developed the kamikaze technique. A pilot who was prepared to fly his plane directly into a ship would require but little skill to hit his target, provided he got through the intervening screen of enemy fighters and anti-aircraft fire. If sufficient Japanese planes attacked simultaneously, it would be impossible to prevent a certain proportion from getting through. Even though losses would be 100% of the planes and pilots thus committed, results, instead of being negligible, might be sufficient to cause damage beyond that which we would be willing to endure. From October 1944 to the end of the Okinawa campaign, the Japanese flew 2,550 kamikaze missions, of which 475, or 18.6%, were effective in securing hits or damaging near misses. Warships of all types were damaged, including 12 aircraft carriers, 15 battleships, and 16 light and escort carriers. However, no ship larger than an escort carrier was sunk. Approximately 45 vessels were sunk, the bulk of which were destroyers. The Japanese were misled by their own inflated claims of heavy ships sunk, and ignored the advice of their technicians that a heavier explosive head was required to sink large ships. To the United States, the losses actually sustained were serious, and caused great concern. 2,000 B-29 sorties were diverted from direct attacks on Japanese cities and industries to striking kamikaze airfields in Kyushu. Had the Japanese been able to sustain an attack of greater power and concentration, they might have been able to cause us to withdraw or to revise our strategic plans. At the time of surrender, the Japanese had more than 9,000 planes in the home islands available for kamikaze attack, and more than 5,000 had already been specially fitted for suicide attack to resist upland invasion. On April 5, 1945, 10 other planes of the 6th Bomb Group attacked Kanoya East Airfield on the southern tip of Kyushu. This was the first of a series of missions for the purpose of neutralizing airfields from which the enemy was staging aerial attacks against naval units supporting ground forces on Okinawa. These airfields were the homes of the kamikaze flyers. During April, 8 such tactical missions were flown with an average attacking force of 12 B-29s. Kanoya East Airfield was hit 4 times, on the 8, 17, 21 and 22 of April. Miyakonojo Airfield was attacked twice, on the 27th and 28th. Matsuyama Airfield was bombed once, on the 26th. Bombing results were excellent with bomb patterns placed on building areas and runways. Effectiveness was further demonstrated by the diminished intensity of enemy air attacks at Okinawa.